41. With thee is the fountain of life, Murdo MacDonald-Bayne. Where could I go from thy spirit? Where could I flee from thy face? I praise thee for the awful wonder of my birth. Thy work is wonderful. For thou didst form my being, didst weave me in my mother's womb. Thou knowest all about my soul, my body is no mystery to thee. Psalms 139. We create ideas in the inner realm, and their power is according to the nature that we attribute to them. Fear of an idea on our part causes it to condense so that it might be seen even with the natural eye. Then we identify it with what we believe to be real, with all its horrible characteristics held in the mind. If we could only understand what we are doing, we will see that the only power it has is the power we give to it. Matter does not create, for there is no power or action in matter by itself. By our ignorance we have closed our eyes to the creative power within ourselves, in which lies the cause of every effect visible in the natural world. By understanding ourselves we will know that we have our happiness or misery in our hands, and much of the suffering of the world will be done away with. It is the general conception that the cause of disease lies in the body, but Jesus shows that this is not true. We have set up standards of right and wrong with regard to health, with regard to other things in the world in general. When our belief embraces these things, we ignorantly sustain them because we fail to understand ourselves. Happiness is not dependent on the external but lies within us. We fail to see that the effects which bring about our unhappiness is from a wrong direction given to the mind. We have opinions, thoughts, and beliefs, but all these can be changed. But that which is eternal can never be changed. What we really know we have no opinion about. This knowing can only come when we thoroughly understand ourselves. If we do not understand ourselves, we shall not understand anything else, for the root of understanding lies within ourselves. In understanding myself, I must understand my relationship with others, with the world, for in me as in everyone else is the whole. I am the result of the whole. I praise thee for the awful wonder of my birth. Thou knowest all about my soul, my body is no mystery to thee. This is the reality that we have no opinion about, no doubts about. The recognition and understanding of this fact will bring about the necessary and vital change in the individual first, and then the world, for the world is what we are. Is not the state and society what we are in thought, feeling? The world is but the projection of ourselves. Without us the world is not. What we are, the world is, the state is, society is. When we are brutal, perverse, exclusive, greedy, envious, we live in separation, so we create in body and circumstances just what we are. There is no denying this fact. The study of oneself is by no means easy. It requires alertness and keen observation of every thought, feeling, and an understanding of our motives and what our feelings are towards others. Our subjective self has taken years to build, and most of our motives are hidden behind a series of misconceptions. There is a whirl of activity and inward confusion torn by conflicting desires. We deny, we assert, we praise, we condemn. We must slow down our thought feeling like a slow motion picture to see what is happening on the surface, then we can study the movements of our minds. To merely control our thought feeling, to merely apply a brake to it, to merely say this is wrong or that is right is a waste of precious time and effort. If we are merely engaged in controlling our thought feeling, there can be no understanding of it. Most of you have found that your mind wanders all over the place. One thought is never finished before another jumps up. No thought feeling is ever finished. Just to control this wandering, to restrain it, instead of examining it and understanding it, only makes you more petty, narrow, and thoughtless. The mind has to slow itself down. If you use force, you only create more opposition. But as you discern every thought feeling without restraint, without comparison, without judgment of right or wrong, letting go completely of what the mind is made up of, you will become aware of that which is unchanging, you will become aware of that which is significant, that which is real. Then follow this up with awareness of the self, not as a separate self but as the whole. This will lead to freedom from mental confusion, beliefs, opinions, and separation. You will begin to know, you will understand yourself. This is being religious in the fundamental sense of the word, not dependent on a particular organized religion, for this will make you irreligious, which leads to separation through your belief. You will be responsible for separation, which is the cause of dissension, economic disasters, wars, starvation, and oppression. I urged you before not to label yourselves with names, for are you not followers of the one life that is in all, understanding him who showed mercy and compassion to all, who refused to be limited by any nation, church, or society? Labels only bring confusion. Labels such as Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, Mohammedan, American, German, English, Chinese, etc. True religion is above nationalities, above creeds, and is the way to the realization of the Supreme, the way to peace and happiness, and world prosperity, and so for the individual. When we all become truly religious in the true sense of the word, then only will there be peace in the soul, peace in the world. Then only will we understand ourselves and others. Unity can only come through right thinking and in no other way. We will have that inward wisdom and peace and love of the Master himself. I am the way, I am the light of the world. How true these words are to us now. In Mark 7, Jesus rebukes the Pharisees for their tradition. In verse 5, it states, "Then the Pharisees and scribes put this question to him, 'Why do your disciples not follow the tradition of the elders? Why do they take their food with common hands?' He said to them, 'Yes, it was about you hypocrites indeed that Isaiah prophesied, as it is written, This people honors me with their lips, but their heart is far away from me. Vain is their worship of me, for the doctrines they teach are but human precepts.'" In Isaiah 29 verse 13 it states, "Since this people draw near me with their mouth, says the Eternal, honoring me with their lips, while their hearts are far remote, since their religion is a mockery, a mere tradition learned by rote." This is what Jesus was referring to. Mark 7, 8-10, "You drop what God commands and hold to human tradition." Yes, forsooth, he added, you set aside what God commands, so as to maintain your own tradition. Here Jesus shows us the unreality of tradition and outer show, which meant so much to the scribes and Pharisees was useless in themselves. In fact, it was honoring with their lips while their hearts were far away from God. Is this not the same today? We have pomp and ceremony, tradition, lip service, while antagonism and separation is rife, then all our prayers become hypocritical. Here Jesus shows that right thinking goes above and beyond all creeds and tradition. Right thinking is freedom, while conditioned thinking is oppression. People are trained what to think. Is not our civilization based on conformity? Our thought is directed by those who themselves are bound to nationalistic ideas, to separation in religion, in politics. Are we not subject to propaganda to make us think the way our leaders want us to think? Thus we are led like sheep to the slaughter. Propaganda is not conducive to right thinking. It tells us what to think, and here Jesus with his right thinking shows the way. Jesus was showing us that spirit was the only reality in man, and through self-awareness we discover our conditioned thought. We discover that we are merely copying another, that we have acquired a habit of thinking which is erroneous and disastrous to ourselves and others. Jesus was aware of himself. He had the source of reality within him. The Father and I are one. But he could not have reached this state unless he had first discovered the truth for himself. Let the innocent among you throw the first stone. Anyone who is innocent would not cast a stone at another, and those who knew they were not innocent could not do so either. No one has condemned you, neither do I. Jesus could not condemn, for that would be against all the laws of spirit. The Spirit of God could not condemn, for the Spirit being perfect could only see perfection. Thus when we are free we see all things in their proper perspective, the relative world and the real. There is no confusion in the mind that has truly discerned all things and has awareness of the Spirit of God within. He who has sent me is at my side. He has not left me alone, for I always do what pleases him. John 8:29. Benediction. I am that I am. I sang my song on the many branches of my tree of life. My song of life was echoed in the green leaves, the souls who fed upon me. In my garden, through centuries of time, sleeping souls awaken unto me. In my eternal concert my rhythm stirs the hearts awaiting to hear my voice, calling all to come into my cosmic freedom. I have heard thy voice in my soul, O beloved one, and now I am free. My peace and my love remain with you. Yours sincerely, 𝗦 MacDonald-Bayne.